Okay, well here we are, my new workbench that I've just completed yesterday, and today arrived my record power lathe. So this is my first lathe and I'm yet to put it together. As you can see, I've just unboxed it and laid out the constituent parts on my workbench, ready to get started putting it together. I have a small set of beginner tools here to practice with, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. So without further ado, I will stop recording and start putting this lathe together. The first step after unpacking the lathe has been to bolt the ends onto the bench. Now, I have to admit this was a close call because we didn't have the measurement of the distance between the bolts. I had downloaded the manual, but it's an interesting omission, and I was only just able to find a spot between the legs and the actual structure of the bench underneath. As you can see, it's pretty solid under here, and I found a spot luckily where I could run those holes through, and there you have it. The bed is mounted, but an interesting omission and something that would be really handy to have in the manual. I could have planned for it in advance. Okay, so here's one of the washers included for below bench mounting, and as you can see, there wasn't a lot of room for me to fit that in here. Okay, here we have the tailstock assembly in place, and behind the tailstock assembly over here, this is your cam to lock it. So we have it up, we can slide the tailstock nice and easily down, and she's locked solidly in place. So that's being sorted by this nut under here. The tightness of that nut affects the cam. So as you can see there, I've loosened it off. Sure if you can see how well you can see that. It's loosened off. Give it a movement and lock it in place. That's the tailstock. We're getting there. Okay, Banjo and the tool rest. The Banjo attaches in the same way as the tailstock and the headstock do. With this spacer, washer, and nylock nut. And where that goes is, we'll pop that under there, attach those to that. This little lever has a spring in here just behind the screw, so we can pull that lever out, and I haven't done that up yet, but yeah, so there we can turn it. Or if we're going to hit this here, which looks like a design problem, well, you can actually pull this out and spin it around without actually rotating here. So, solving that. Anyway, let me get all this fixed in place and it'll be a little bit easier to demonstrate. Okay, the headstock. That was a bitch. No, I mean seriously, that was a cow of a thing to get on. This is, yeah, a design, interesting design. So, story here is this headstock. All of that weight is at the back there where the motor is. One bolt going through a plate here through the center, and can be tightened and loosened by this here. Alright, well, firstly, they don't actually give you instructions as to where the washers and spacers go. What you're meant to do is somehow balance this contraption on top, feed a bolt up through both chunks of iron, and in here, right down in there, yeah, and my hands will hardly even fit in there, right down in there, there's a nut that you're meant to place and then somehow wind that other bolt up into it. Well, yeah, good luck folks, good luck. Get somebody with some small hands to assist you here, and be prepared for a little bit of swearing as you try and position everything and hold the headstock in place and turn the bolt and do everything all at once. Very interesting design. Nonetheless, it is now done. Wait, focus you fuck. It is done, and I can move on with the next stage. It's starting to look like a freaking lathe. Fucking brilliant. Alright, what am I doing here? Okay, so as you can see, focus, I have been aligning the head and tailstock. Focus you fuck, there we go. Alright, but that is a lot harder than it should be. And I can see this is I guess, look, I have not bought a top-end lathe here. I've bought a beginner's lathe, a starter lathe. But one of the features of this lathe is that this headstock can swivel. I can swivel out and do bowl work. Now, that's all well and good, but there's no positive registration for that. So what that has meant is that for me to get this lined up here with the tailstock has required me manually tweaking it while I tighten things at the bottom. And now it's locked in, it's all good. Probably won't move that again. But every now and again I'm going to have to check that. But it's just crazy. I cannot understand why you wouldn't have some form of positive registration in that base so that it could lock in. Anyway, it's what you get what you pays for, and look, I'm pretty happy already. I'm not going to let that bother me. And there it is, the record power DML36SH-CAM wood lathe. Almost ready to go. Just going to plug it in and spin it up for the first time.